Thanks for joining us. Hi, Anthony and Michael and Aaron and Steph, Carol, Lisa, Courtney, Melinda, Ellen. Gosh, all of you guys. We're going to give everybody a couple of moments to settle in, but you guys are all on mute, so utilize the chat function if you have questions or you need anything. How are we all doing today? Thumbs up? We're okay? Good. Awesome. All right. Hi, Kyle and Caroline. Caroline, you look like you're in the grocery store. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get started. Welcome, everybody. Happy Health Tip Tuesday. I'm Amanda. I'm the Healthy Athletes Manager. I'm here with my coworkers, Tyler and Scott, and I think Lindsay's on the call somewhere. But our special guests today are our Health Promotion Clinical Director, Melissa Ford-Cox. She is a nutrition consultant and is going to help teach our athlete leader, Kim, how to cook. I think we're doing zoodles and a pasta salad. So we're hoping that you guys learn something. If you have questions, please use the chat function. And I think that is pretty much it for right now, but we're excited, and I'll turn it over to Kim and Melissa, unless Tyler, there's something I'm forgetting. All right.
Record.
What was that? You ready?
Record.
Record. Thank you. Tyler already did that.
Okay.
Good job, Kim. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining Kim and me today. We are excited to be here. And we have what's called the sweet pepper pesto pasta. But what we're talking about today is not just following a recipe, it's about learning to cook. And the reason it's important to learn to cook is because it empowers you. It empowers you as an athlete and as an individual, because it lets you pick the foods that are right for you, that will make you healthy, that can help you be a better athlete. It allows you to learn new skills, which makes you more independent, and it lets you allow to eat the things that you know that you need to be the best athlete you can. So Kim and I are here with a basic recipe and a lot of substitutions. Right, Kim?
Yes.
All right.
So, Mel, first off, can you tell me, we were talking earlier about my breakfast and how they consisted of a fruit salad, and you said that's not a complete meal. So can you talk a little bit about what makes something a complete meal, and how I'm turning this in from a side dish into my lunch, which we want to be a complete meal.
Perfect. Excellent start, Kim. All right, so Kim was telling me, we've talked a lot the past few days. We've talked about recipes, what she likes, what she knows is good for her. And she was telling me that she had fruit for breakfast, and that's it. And I said, well, fruit's very good. You know, it has a lot of vitamins and minerals and, you know, antioxidants, which we all hear about. And fruit is excellent. But what everybody needs to do is have a complete meal, because your body needs protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Now, the fruits take care of those carbohydrates, and I didn't mention it has fiber, but fiber is really important for filling you up. So fiber, fruit, you know, vitamins and minerals. But what Kim needs to add to that is some sort of protein and a little bit of fat, because that way her body has everything she needs for the whole morning, and it's going to hold her till lunch. So Kim, what would you add protein-wise? Would you want to add some yogurt, or would you want to add some beef?
This morning I added scrambled eggs with some salsa.
Perfect. See how perfect that is? So eggs have a little bit of fat. You're probably going to cook them in a little bit of fat. And salsa on the side gives you your first vegetable for the day. So now Kim has 2 ticks on her fruit and veggies, and she's got some nice eggs going on there, which is going to give her some protein and a little bit of fat. So Kim's going to be better set for the day. So now we're going to talk about her lunch. And we have this, the pasta pesto salad. And what it does is it has, it's supposed to start with a lot of beautiful peppers, which Kim's going to have. And it has a little bit of pasta and some pesto. What else does it have? It has some seasonings, some olives, and some cheese. So while there's a little bit of protein in this, it's really meant as a side dish. So Kim said to me when we talked about her breakfast, she's like, well, how am I going to make this complete? And she decided to add a protein. What are you going to add, Kim?
Turkey.
There you go. Perfect. So Kim can do two things. She can make it a one bowl meal, and she can add turkey pieces to her pesto pasta salad, or she can have it on the side. So basically, there's a lot of things you can do. She's going to get a little bit of protein from the cheese and a little bit from the pasta, but and she also decided to change up her pasta. And she's not using a wheat pasta. She's actually using a pasta made with chickpeas, which is a legume. So it's going to give her even more protein and a lot more fiber than a regular pasta. And that's going to keep her more satisfied during the day. Then Kim decided that she didn't want all of that chickpea pasta. She decided, because she chooses a more, a low carb diet lifestyle, she's going to replace some of that pasta with zoodles. And I think that's where we should start cooking, Kim. So most of you probably already know that zoodles are made from zucchini. You can buy them at the store, or you can make them like Kim's going to do. Now, Kim, let's see your zoodle maker.
I have two different things. I have this, which I don't know if you can see, has these sharp little skinny things. I don't know if this is better because they'll be really skinny. And then I have this spiralizer that I tried once before and was not successful using. So, and this was the expensive spiralizer, because I could have got a cheaper one, but this was the $10 one, and yeah, I couldn't make it work. So,
well, why don't we try again?
okay.
It's mine, and it comes with a cover on it, and it's probably hard to see at home, but
Oh, yours is a lot different than mine.
so, and it's got the. So what we do is you have to have a fairly thick zucchini. You can't use baby zucchini.
Oh, okay.
Then
These
it gets
are,
to know
I
you.
have these little, I didn't know what kind, so I have little ones like that, and then I have the one big one.
I would use the bigger of the choices. And what you do,
Okay.
cut off both ends, Kim. I
All
think
right.
you know that. You cut off both ends, get rid of the ends, and then you, I think she's cutting.
Okay.
All right, and then what you do is you take your zucchini and you put it in and start twisting. This is how mine works. So will yours fit in there?
It's. Let me go the skinnier end. All right.
Try that.
I'm gonna hold this over my cutting board.
Okay, I'll show them what I'm doing. So see how I twist the zucchini with this little machine, and out the other end comes the zoodles. And so it kind of looks like pasta, you know, like a long spaghetti noodle. And if you've never had them, we're not gonna lie, it does not taste like pasta. It tastes like zucchini, but you know, zucchini is so good for you. It's a really great squash. It's, you know, generally, we can get zucchini year-round here in the Bay Area and in Northern California. Nevada has it year-round too. So pretty much you can get zucchini anytime. They are generally made with the green ones because they don't have seeds in them. And it just makes your dish lighter. It gives you a serving of vegetables. It gives you more vitamins and minerals because it's a whole food. And, you know, so consider trying zoodles at least once. If you buy them at the store, I know Trader Joe's has them, you're gonna have to watch because they are gonna have salt already added to them. So if you need to be careful with your salt, you're gonna have to pull it back somewhere else. But when you purchase them already zoodled, they're gonna be more expensive. And this is kind of fun. And if you,
So now my zucchini doesn't fit in it anymore.
what'd you get? Did you net anything, Kim?
I got some stuff, but it's like, oh, okay. I don't know if you can see this. I've got a pile here.
No,
Mel, can you show us what your zoodles look like? Like, can you bring them a little closer?
You want me? I'm gonna bring the camera closer because it's easier. All right. Can you see? Or no? Let me change my view. Oh, I don't know how to change my view.
Just pick them up and hold them in.
Oh, well, I don't know where the camera part is. Can you see?
Yes, we can see. Those are great. Good.
Okay. All right, let me take my zucchini out of my thing so you can see what it looks like once I take it out. Oh, it made.
All right, so
It made. Where's my camera? There. It made. Ah, I can't get it to show. There we go. This way. Yeah, it made a point. Is that what it's supposed to do?
type, so you know, and what you can do with that, Kim, is if it doesn't zoodle anymore, is you don't want to waste all that good zucchini. So if it's okay with, you know, what you can do is you can just take that out and you can cut it into strips. So you would lay it on your chopping block and cut, you know, flat pieces like this, you know. So
Oh, okay. All right.
and then you can take that and cut them again into, so they're, you know, like thin little juliennes. So that,
just cut it in half and then cut the halves.
yeah, then you, here, I'm gonna show you. So then I cut it again into thin little strips.
So do I start by cutting the zucchini in half?
Yes, because it's gonna give you a solid base, so it's not rolling around. So cut it in, not with your,
Cut it in half, okay.
put on your cutting block. Kim likes to cut with things in her hand because she's far more talented than I am that way.
But we need to practice safe knife skills, everybody, okay? No haphazardous knife skills in the kitchen.
This has seeds in it.
Yours has seeds? It has little seeds, but not like big, you know. And the more mature they are, the bigger they will be.
All right, so now how do I, it's still curved.
So cut them vertically.
Vertically, okay.
Lay them flat and cut them in, you know, thin little strips. So they're probably a 1/4 inch all the way around. Does that make sense?
1/4 inch. I don't know how big I'm doing it.
Okay, you know what the beauty of this is? It doesn't matter because you're making zoodles yourself, and if they don't need to be perfect. You just cut them up the best you can. They're never going to be, you know, it's natural. You know, each zucchini is shaped different.
It's fat on, can you see it's fat on that side and it's skinnier on that side. It's more like a funny looking French fry.
Well, that's okay. And, you know, you can cut that in half vertically, you know, or 3. So that's okay because what we're going to do is we're just having fun and we're just learning. So, you know, you can save If you want your perfect zoodles, Kim, you can just make as many zoodles as you can get and then save those pieces for soup.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna eat them. I'm sure they're all gonna taste fine.
They taste the same.
So, I am curious about one thing. Like, I heard that the difference between a fruit and a vegetable is that a fruit has seeds inside of it. So this zucchini has seeds inside of it. So does that make it a fruit?
That's a really good question. I know tomatoes are, I think it's more, yeah. I don't know the answer to that, Kim. Excellent question. You can have someone tell us. Does anybody know if zucchinis are considered a fruit? I've always considered tomatoes a fruit. We know avocado's a fruit. So Kim's logic would lead us to believe that zucchini is a fruit too. So we're gonna go, but that's okay. You know, we're gonna, even though there may be fruits, we're gonna use them as vegetables. And that's because vegetables have less sugar than fruit in general. So they're going to, you know, give you that staying power without giving you too much sugar. How's the zoodle?
I almost have all my zucchinis cut up. Just have a couple more to go.
When you get those put aside, then we'll do the peppers. So what Kim's gonna do is, you can cook zoodles a number of different ways. You can go ahead and saute them in a pan like you would just a regular shaped vegetable. You can go ahead and you can put them in a steamer basket, and you know, you just pop them right in there, and then you can steam them over water. You can cook them in the oven. This one seems a little labor intensive, but you can lay your zoodles on a baking sheet with a paper towel underneath to absorb some water. Bake them on a low oven of like 200 for 10 or 15 minutes. It's just to soften them, so that gives you more of that pasta texture, which seems a little silly to me. I think steaming or sauteing is the way to go. You can even cook them lightly in the microwave. Kim, how do you want to do your zoodles today?
In a pan.
Okay, perfect. Kim is going to probably do one pan, right? So we have low cleanup.
Yeah, I'm not into washing dishes.
All of us are not into washing dishes, so that's a cool thing. She did go ahead and make the pasta already, so she's gonna have 2 pans, but that's okay. Now you want to do the peppers, Kim?
Okay, so what do I do? I cut out like I got out 10 peppers. So mine are orange, and they're trying to be red, but like I don't know if they're orange or red. I think they're red, orange, and yellow.
Nice.
Yeah. So what do I do with it now? It's little like this.
Aren't those cute? I love those. And I love the mix of colors, because that's going to make such a pretty bowl. And, you know, each one offers something special. So I don't have peppers. My store, I went to 2, they didn't have those small red peppers like the recipe calls for. Kim found them. I have just regular peppers. I have a purple one and a yellow, and then I have your standard green.
I never heard of purple ones before. I never seen a purple one.
I love these purple ones. Can you see that it's kind of green? And I got this one at the farmer's market. They pretty much taste like the green ones, whereas the yellow, orange, and red are sweeter.
I heard that all peppers start off as green peppers, and then they change color the longer they stay on the vine.
I've heard that too. And I think that's why this one's going from purple to green. But I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I heard they start off green and then they go towards red, but.
We're going to have to get a vegetable garden going, Cam, so we can learn all these things.
Okay.
That or take a botany class, one of the two. I think the vegetable garden would be more fun. All right, so what are you going to do, Kim? Is you're going to cut off the top safely, lie it down. And you can do that a number of different ways.
Just go like this.
You lay it down sideways. Yours are small enough that you could definitely use what you're doing, which is a paring knife. Kim has a small knife, and she's just going in and carefully cutting out the top. I'm gonna go ahead and
This is my knife. It's
perfect. So that's a really nice knife, Kim. I have a bigger knife right now, so I'm gonna take the top off this one, and then I'm gonna cut mine in half.
Am I taking all the tops off first?
What?
Of my peppers, am I taking all the tops off and then cutting them up, or should I cut them up as I take the tops off?
Either way you want to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna cut all my tops off real quick.
So Kim's, and so basically you want to cut off that, the stem end and all the seeds and take those out because the seeds are going to be a little bit bitter and they're not going to add any value. And then Kim's going to cut her peppers up, and because she has such small ones, she can cut and you just make 2 or 3 cuts and it'll be really quick work. So that's what's nice. Kim, are you going to do rings or are you going to do strips?
I have no idea. What am I doing?
It's up to you. The recipe calls for rings.
Huh?
The recipe calls for rings.
I think I can cut rings real easily because these are little. So I think I'll go for rings. Plus, I'm very literal about recipes, so. This is gonna take me a minute. I'm still cutting my tops off, sorry.
That's okay. Let's see, what do we have here? Kim had a couple of, you know what, why don't we talk about substitutions while Kim is doing her peppers. So Kim, as you know from our conversation so far, has decided that she's going to use less pasta and add in zucchini noodles, zoodles, as we've been calling them. She's also adding in more protein so that she can have a complete one-bowl meal because we don't like to do dishes. And she knows she needs that protein. But maybe you don't like zucchini, or maybe you have an allergy to it, which I have a client that does have a zucchini allergy. And so you can't replace the zoodles, but you can add in different things. Maybe you don't like bell peppers. So what I have here is I have a jar of sun-dried tomatoes. So you can do the sun-dried tomatoes. It's really quick because they're already cut up for you. If you have a little bit of time, you can use cherry tomatoes. They're in season now and they'd be really good in something like this. Because we're adding pesto and it is a pasta, it goes towards that Italian theme. And tomatoes are very good in Italian food. I also have a can of Artichoke Hearts, which you could add in for some flavor. You can add in onions, or if you wanted to keep this a salad, you could add in green onions. So, they're not cooked.
My rings broke.
That's okay. Those are beautiful. I love the size, Kim, because they're perfect for bites. And you can keep probably the little end that makes a triangle at the bottom. That's fine to keep there too.
Okay.
The small one. What about mushrooms? That's something.
I like mushrooms.
You what?
I like mushrooms.
So
but they're expensive.
Yeah, you can add in mushrooms, and in the fall maybe, and do that. What are your favorite vegetables, Kim?
Is sweet potato a vegetable?
Yes.
I like sweet potatoes, and I like lots of vegetables. I like sweet potatoes. I like asparagus. I like artichokes. I like zucchini. Let's see. I like green beans. What else do I like? I like carrots. Carrots are good. Carrots are good too because they're sweet. And they're crunchy. They're crunchy, so that I like that. Oh, and is himica? Is that a vegetable? I like that in my green salads.
Yes, excellent. So Kim's just named off a number of vegetables that all would probably work really well in this, especially if you took it towards the salad. You could steam the asparagus lightly, cut them up. I think the carrots would probably be my least favorite, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be good. It'd definitely be pretty, and you could grate them. Green beans are a traditional vegetable that goes with pesto in Italian cooking. So if you like green beans, those are always available, and you can eat them raw or you can cook them. You know, the more raw vegetables you eat, the faster the pasta is going to be to make. So that's an exciting thing.
Oh, I don't like raw green beans.
Okay, and that's okay, because the whole point is making it for you, right? How do those peppers coming along, Kim?
I have 2 more to go, and then they're cut. There's some in this, but most of the seeds are not in it.
Your pasta's good to go?
Yes, the pasta's done, and the zucchini is zoodled.
Okay. You know, I
Can you tell me how much of this can I eat for my lunch?
so the recipe calls for the recipe as it was written calls for 4.5 cups of dry pasta, which is a lot of pasta. It's supposed to serve 8 people, and the nutrition on the recipe was for 1 cup serving. So you can see that this is not, I mean, a 1 cup serving of pasta with peppers is not going to be a big amount, right? I mean, it's just not. And so that's why it's considered a side dish. But that right there, Kim, has, you know, a serving of fat, and has about 37 carbohydrates, which is a nice, you know, it's not too much, it's not too little, because you're balancing the traditional pasta with the
Noodles.
yeah. Now, if Kim's zoodles are going to take that carb count way down, but still give her a lot of nutrients and fiber. So this also only has 1 cup has about 9 grams of protein, which is just a little over 1 ounce, Kim. So if you know, this is again while we're adding your turkey. So 1 cup.
9 grams of protein isn't very much.
Right, exactly. So you know you need more. And but it's good to know that other things do add, you know, you're getting your protein from the wheat as well as a little bit from the cheese, but not much from the cheese.
Okay.
So
right, my peppers are cut up. Oh wait, sorry, you're still talking about how much I can eat.
no, that was perfect. So why don't we go ahead and start cooking?
So how much I can have 1 cup, or I can have more than 1 cup.
Serving size, but it depends on what else you're eating. So 300 calories. It's not a lot of calories, but it is, you know, a fairly calorie dense meal. You know, you could eat a lot of zucchini if you were only eating zucchini. You're getting some calories from that pesto as well. So, but you're getting, it's also complete, you know, because you know, so you're going to add in a few more ounces of meat. Do you think that will keep you satisfied till dinner?
Well, this is a cup, and I don't know that looks like that much food.
Exactly. So, and that's what I'm saying. It's meant to be a side dish. Kim's adding in, you know, more turkey. But what you could also do, especially if you know that that's not going to fill you up, is you could add more vegetables in, or you could make a quick green salad of vegetables. So, you know, where you want to go with this is you've already got, you know, a little bit of starch, you've got the pasta, you've got your protein. And so to keep the calories down, but to fill you up, you want to add more vegetables.
Okay.
So
All right. So I have my pan and I have my spatula. What do I do now?
you want to put some olive oil in there and heat it up and cook either the peppers or the zoodles, whichever one you want. So Kim's gonna
I'm gonna eat both of them.
right, but you have to make one first and then the other because they're gonna cook at a different rate.
So should I cook the one that takes longest the first?
Sure,
Which would that be?
the peppers.
All right, so I'll start with the peppers. Can I just pour this in or do I need to measure it?
That's up to you. If you want to know how much you're using, you should always measure. But if you, you just need a little bit, like a teaspoon or so.
Okay, I'm just gonna pour a little bit in. All right.
The more you cook,
I don't know if you can see this very well, but that's how much I put in.
yeah, so she has a nonstick pan. She's just putting in a little bit of oil. The oil's gonna help it have flavor, you know, and she could, Kim, when you get these peppers going, you know, because you're gonna cook them on medium high heat. You can put the lid on top, and that's gonna add steam. The vegetable's going to release water, and that's gonna steam them. So you need, you know, and that's gonna have your need for oil to be even less. So that's a good thing.
All right, so I have to wait a couple minutes first, right?
Yes. And don't forget, you want to add a tiny bit of salt,
Salt.
just to each one, just a little tiny bit, just a tiny, tiny pinch.
Just regular salt or kosher salt?
Either one is fine. That salt you have in your hand is going to be saltier than the kosher salt. So you want to use even more.
You can have saltier salt?
Yeah, 20 taste them. Get both of them out right now. Where's your kosher? This is perfect.
Okay, so here's my kosher, here's my regular.
Dump a little out of each.
Do what?
Put a little out on the countertop or in a spoon, just a tiny bit. This is all about cooking. Okay, not, you know, you just need a couple granules.
Okay, this is my regular one.
Yeah, so wet your finger, you know, and taste it. Which one's that?
It's really salty, it's the regular, but then it's salt, so I hope it's salty. Okay, that's my regular.
Now, put that down, maybe take a drink of water.
Okay.
Everybody drink water right now. Because we have to get 5 bottles today, right? And then she's gonna come back and she's gonna tell us the kosher salt generally should be less salty. We'll see if this theory holds true.
Huh, okay.
Where'd you go?
It's the grains are bigger.
Yes, they are bigger.
I don't know if you can you, oh, I just poured it on my keyboard.
So yes, the grains are bigger in kosher salt. What do you think?
It's salty, but yeah, it's is it because you have fewer grains?
Right. So the thing about kosher salt is they like using that. Cooks like using kosher salt for cooking because it has a big surface area. It's a crystal, so it readily dissolves. Whereas the traditional salt that Kim tried first is going to be saltier, and takes longer to dissolve.
Should I put the salt in the pan first or the peppers?
Put the peppers in, sprinkle the salt on top, just a tiny bit, and then saute around and add your lid.
Okay, so I didn't know much salt to use, so I'm not going to show you because I just spilled it on my computer. So I don't know how much is.
So
Maybe I don't want to make it too salty.
right, so err on the side of caution. Whenever you add salt to anything, you want to make sure that you add just a tiny bit. All you're doing is enhancing the flavor of the peppers. You're not. And because Kim has a recipe that calls for pesto and cheese, which both have salt in them, we need less. So you just want to enhance the flavor of what you're cooking, but we're keeping in mind that other ingredients also have salt. So you want to make sure you're safe salting.
Okay.
All right.
What
So
do I do?
minutes. Got any new questions for us, Kim?
If I'm trying to determine the serving, like when I buy something that's packaged, it tells me how much is a serving size and what the nutrition is in it. But since I'm doing a lot of fresh food type cooking, like my vegetables are fresh and I'm making a lot of stir fry, so I add some meat and then I add my vegetables and I stir it up. I don't know what a serving size is, and I don't know if I'm getting enough of the right nutrition. So how do I tell if I'm doing okay or not?
That's a really good question. First of all, because you cook for yourself and you're using fresh ingredients, that's going to be healthier than anything else you can do. So, give yourself a big bonus credits for that. But if you really want to check it out, what you can do is you can, you could make a recipe that has the nutrition ingredients in it, and then you can see, so you make a recipe, the way exactly what it says, following everything, so you can see the proportions, and then you can say, eat that. And then you can know that, does it fill me up? Did I need more vegetables? Did I need more protein? You can learn that way. You can also work with one of your healthcare providers, and they can look at your diet. You can keep notes of what you eat, or you can use an online app to put it in. And it's all approximate,
Okay, so maybe the online, because when I make my stir fry, I don't have a recipe. I'm just using whatever's in my fridge that's left. So it's different depending on what I get from the food pantry, because I get a lot of my food from the food pantry. So it depends on what they give me each week. So this last week they gave me leafy greens, and so I had yellow squash and zucchini and carrots. So I put all that in a stir fry and with a little bit of meat, and so I wasn't using a recipe. That's just.
All right, we got another way of doing this, and this one's going to be, some of you, if you've come by for Healthy Athletes Checkup, you may have heard about this, which is you take your plate. So I have a small plate here, which is okay because I'm a small person. And you look at that plate as a whole, and you can have a regular dinner size plate, but you want to have half of your plate be vegetables and a little bit of fruit. You can, depends on the time of the day. You want to have about a quarter, which is 1/4 can be your starchy vegetables, like your chickpeas that you're having, or a little bit of pasta, or sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a great starchy vegetable. Pumpkin we were also talking about. So you'd have about 1/4 be your starchy vegetable. That's going to give you your staying power. And then you're going to have the other quarter be your protein, which is, fish, or beef, or chicken, but it can also be vegetarian, and it can be beans and rice, or it could be a dairy product such as yogurt. So that's what you want to do.
Beans and your rice in that 1/4, or does your rice go in a separate quarter and your beans go in another quarter?
So that's a really good question. I would, you know, I would count them as, you know, half your plate. But you may want to have a little less than half for that. But
Okay.
you definitely want to fill that up, you know, with the vegetables for half your plate. And that should work for every meal.
And when you say peppers, you don't mean the peppers that I just put in my pan, do you? You mean not no, oh, beans. Sorry, I got beans and peppers confused. Sorry, my bad.
One, I may have misspoke. So yeah, so if you can take for every meal, including breakfast, if you can keep, you know, some vegetables and fruit as half your plate or your bowl, a little bit of protein and a little bit of starchiness, should be good to go. And then from there, you can monitor yourself. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think so. All right, so do I add my zoodles in now?
Okay, let's take the peppers out and put them in a bowl or leave them in. Either way.
I want to leave them in.
Okay, perfect.
Well, I have this bowl for when it's done, but.
Okay, so you can put those in there now, or you can leave them in. It depends on how the peppers taste. If you want the peppers more cooked, leave them in. If those peppers are soft, take them out.
I'm gonna take them out so they don't get overcooked for me.
Perfect.
Okay.
You like them cooked, but you don't like them mushy.
All right, there are my peppers. Now, do I need to put more oil in this again?
Probably, yes.
All right, more oil. Here we go.
So we're gonna do the same thing with your zoodles as you did with the peppers, which is just add a tiny bit of salt. You know, just,
more salt, okay.
or not, because you already have the peppers going with a little bit of salt. It depends on if you think it's gonna be too salty for you, Kim.
I'm just gonna put in a little tiny bit. All right, so then all of this goes in. That goes in, and the French fry ones too, right?
Yeah, to throw it in there. We've had about 15 minutes to go, so we should be good.
Oh my gosh, the time has been flying.
Yeah.
Well, maybe some of the other athletes have questions. Should you go ahead while I'm cooking this? Do I put the lid on now?
Yes.
Put the lid on the zucchini?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So Kim's gonna be wrapping, so basically now all we have to do is finish the zucchini, and then we're gonna mix everything together in the bowl and she's gonna taste it. Kim, do you have your Parmesan?
I was trying to tell you about this Parmesan, so it's really hard, and you were saying it should look creamy, but this just looks all one the same. Should I take it out of the bag? Maybe it's hard to see.
You know what? I think it looks exactly like it's supposed to. Here's mine. And you can see that there's a tiny bit of rind. But, and this is what you want, if you go to the store and you buy Parmesan, or you want to look for the least amount of rind possible, because you want to make sure you can eat as much of it as possible for the price. Because Parmesan is expensive. So Kim, what we're gonna do is, your Parmesan looks great. While your zucchini cooks, let's get your
$19.99 a pound.
You have what?
It says it's, I got it for free at the food pantry, but it says it's $19.99 a pound.
Yeah, it's not cheap. So, but that's okay because you only need a little bit. It's just a flavoring.
Okay, so I need to cut this rind off somehow? Because I tried to do that earlier and it's super hard. I couldn't cut it.
No, go ahead and leave the rind on. What you want to do is you want to choose a grating device. So you can make wide. This one has really wide, what we call grates. When this one's really fine. So choose, a grater that is what you like. The smaller it is, the easier it's going to be to distribute. And then just grate yourself, what does it call for? A third of a cup. So you just want to go ahead, you can hold the rind in and then simply grate on your cutting board. And then you can eat pieces that fall off, because what else are you going to do with them?
Well, mine is.
You can also eat all your vegetables while you're standing there too. Since I'm sure we're all hungry right now, it's so nice of you all to join us at lunchtime while we're cooking in front of you. So Kim's gonna go ahead and she's going to cut up her Parmesan or grate her Parmesan. And then the last thing, Kim, did you buy olives?
I did. Where did I put them?
Well, we'll get there after you grate your Parmesan. So everyone, I hope you can see that it can be anything you want it to be. And you know, if you're short on time and you don't have time to cook, obviously this would go a lot faster if you were doing this yourself by yourself. But a really well-made sandwich and some carrots and celery sticks, there's a lunch. Leftovers are also great for lunch, and those can be so quick. So, you know, cook what you want for as long as you want and just make it work for you. That, you know, cooking from scratch is where you want to be, because it's going to be the healthiest for you, and it's going to allow you to manage the foods you need to make you the best athlete.
So Mel, this is making more than I can eat tonight, but I like to have leftovers so that
Yes.
I a lot of times, like I'm get finished working and I don't want to cook, or it's like too hot to cook, or just various reasons. So I want to just grab something and microwave it. So if I want to put this in the freezer, I have these containers. I have glass containers and then I have plastic containers like this. Can I just throw it in one of these and toss it in the freezer?
I think it's worth trying. You can definitely portion it out. That saves you even more time. If you take the time at the end of the meal, Kim, to portion this out into serving sizes, then you can just grab it and go. And I would definitely try freezing. I know you can freeze pesto. I know you can freeze cheese. You can freeze peppers. I've never frozen pasta, but I think it's definitely worth a try so that you can have a quick meal after doing work.
Okay, what did I do with my olives? I just bought that can. What did I do?
Mix everything together, Kim. You may want to check those zucchini.
Smells like zucchini.
Excellent.
The French fry ones are taking longer, but I'm gonna pull it now so it doesn't get. I guess I'm just gonna have to use the olives for a second meal, because I don't know what I did just go buy them last night, but I don't know what I did with them.
Why don't you go ahead and get your chickpea pasta? Can you show everyone what that? I want to see it myself. What's it look like?
Well, these are I don't know what kind of they're like
cool.
They're like cylinders with diagonal ends. I don't know if you can see that or not.
They're a penne.
Okay.
So that's perfect, because that's going to allow the pesto to get in the little tube, and so it's really going to hold your sauce. So that'll be really nice. Good choice.
All right. So do I dump this in my bowl with my peppers now?
Yep. Mix it all together.
All right.
You're going to add.
Oh, that came out in one solid lump. There we go.
You know, we forgot your garlic powder, but that's okay.
Oh, I have garlic powder. Am I just going to sprinkle it on top?
Yeah, you can sprinkle it on top, but the pesto also has garlic in it too.
So do I want to put the garlic on?
So I would put your peppers, your chickpea pasta, and your zoodles into the bowl, and kind of,
No, I don't have a big enough bowl. I don't think it's gonna fit. Let me try.
add what you can. This is
All right, it did fit,
perfect.
but it's a very full bowl. All right, so now I'm gonna mix it up.
What was that, Kim?
I'm gonna mix it.
Yes.
I'm
mix
trying
that
to
up.
mix it. Sorry, I maybe I should have held my camera so you could have seen this in.
No, we can see you now. Now, why don't you go ahead and get the pesto and the and Parmesan and mix that in there as well. I think we lost you.
We might be having some technical difficulties on Kim's end. But I do have a question for our audience. Do you guys have recipes or things that you like to cook at home? Use the chat function to tell us about those. Or do you have ideas on recipes that we can cook and help you learn at home? What are some of the things that you like to cook at home, Mel?
Me?
Yeah, what's your favorite thing to cook at home, or your favorite recipe?
I'm the salad girl.
Mm-hmm.
I do live with another person, so I'm the person who is responsible for all the vegetables in our house. And tonight I'm making a curry, and we're using the green peppers and zucchini and onions. So every night is a different vegetable, and because this is what I like to make. Last night we had teriyaki with bok choy.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
And pork. So we have pork teriyaki. We tend to mix things up.
Okay, so my zoodles are not distributing throughout. So maybe they're just going to be like in a lump because they're not mixing very well.
So what you can do, Kim, is, that's the problem with these types of things is spoons are, I don't know, and maybe everybody here has the same problem or not, but I find when I try to mix a long noodle like this, it doesn't really stir well. So you can use tongs, or since this is room temperature, go ahead and stick your hand in there and toss it like a salad with your pesto. And then you get to lick the pesto fingers. Looking at me, Kim. Okay, you don't have to do that. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's really hard to get things distributed. So you can have a lump. You can use tongs, or you can use your hands.
I got some tongs.
You know what? You're cooking right now. You're not cooking for guests, so you can, so long as see, perfect. Everybody, wash your hands constantly because your hands are really useful tools in the kitchen.
All right, so I'm at my tongs.
Amanda,
I think because I just took the zucchini out of the stove, I think it's going to be hot to touch.
Okay.
But look how long. I don't know if you can see. Look how long these. Can you see? How long this is the zucchini zoodles. They're very long, but they're.
Well, and another way you can do that, Kim, and I probably should have done better at this, was that, all right, so this one is one whole zoodle, and maybe, you cut them in half in the future.
Okay. All right, so do I put I want to make sure we get this whole meal done before we have to go. So do I add the pesto now?
Yep, add the pesto, add the cheese, and then tell us how it tastes.
Okay, so I'm putting this whole, I thought maybe we should talk about this. This is been on my shelf. It's Italian, it's all written in Italian. This was from the food pantry, and I don't know what pesto was or what to do with it, so it's just sat on my shelf. And I'm not quite sure, it says 22 Lug 2002. I think that's the date. I don't know what month Lug is. Maybe someone's Italian, they know. But you were telling me that 2002 is too old to eat this.
I would not eat something that's 18 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Pesto is made with nuts. It's made, like pine nuts. It's made with parsley, and it's made with olive oil and cheese. And would you eat parsley, nuts, or olive oil that was 18 years old?
But it's in a jar.
I know, but it's you don't know how it's been stored. Olive oil can go rancid. Nuts can go rancid. So you want to be safe. And
Ooh, this is like, wow. Okay.
it's better to be safe. And canned goods, frozen things, they all have expirations. And you don't want to eat something that's not going to serve you.
All right, so I'm gonna scoop out what's left in this jar. It smells good. I've never tried pesto before, so this is very different for me. All right, smells delish. And then add the cheese.
Yeah, can you add the cheese over here so we can see you?
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna try and sprinkle it. There's my cheese. I didn't measure it because I just didn't.
That's okay.
But it looked about like a third of a cup. All right, so I can't stir it over there because I don't have enough hands. So I'm gonna stir it and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Unless you're just supposed to look like, yeah, I'm supposed to stir it, right? Or is it just supposed to be dumped on top?
No,
Stir it.
because you want the pesto to be integrated, and because if you were the last person in the line at the buffet, you'd get no pesto or cheese, and then you'd be sad. So.
Oh, with COVID-19, I don't think we're gonna be able to have
It's true.
buffets anymore.
Virtual potluck here, we want to make sure that the last person coming by gets all the goodness.
Wow, this smells really. Too bad we can't have smells come through the computer because this is smelling really good. All right, I'm almost ready to show you.
So Amanda, did anybody say what they like to cook?
Yeah, we have a bunch of chefs in here. I know that Maurice is a big chef. He takes a cooking class every Tuesday, I think with the SAC TRS group, and he makes veggies and chicken breasts. Let's see what else. Lisa likes to bake tilapia and vermicelli salads and spaghetti. Maurice also said he makes macaroni with cheese. Riley said salmon and shrimp avocado pasta. Pasta salad is a big hit here too. Let's see. How many of you cook at home? Can you raise your hand if you cook? Amber, Michelle, Kyle, Carol, John. Nice. Oh, Kevin. Okay. So a lot of you do. Ellen, JJ, and JoJo. Lisa.
Yeah, I see a lot of hands. Excellent.
Aaron. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this is my meal. I got my turkey right here. Here's my pesto salad. I could not get it to separate easily, so when I did my spoonful, so this is probably more than one serving maybe. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like it's probably 2 cups. But I'm really hungry, so and I figure, right, you can pretty much have as many vegetables as you want. I guess more vegetables is better for you, so.
Yes.
That looks delicious.
It looks absolutely delicious. Did you taste it?
I have not. Now, if I'm wondering if I'm getting how many servings of vegetables I'm getting in this, because I have peppers and zucchini, does that mean I have 2 servings of vegetables in this?
I think, it's hard to say, but I'd say definitely 1.5 to 2.
Cool.
So,
all right, I'm gonna
take a taste
test here.
Grab the fork.
Got my fork here, and here we go. Oh, yeah, that's good. And it is not too salty.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, look I can twirl my fork. Can you see how this is one big lump? But I gotta twirl my fork with the oh, but they're not cutting like they don't cut like pasta.
No, they're a little more difficult. You definitely have to, it's a fork and knife.
Mm.
Do you like the pesto with the chickpeas and the zucchini?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And the pepper is sweet. So it's nice having the sweet, because the pesto is I don't know how to describe it.
Savory?
Yeah. It's savory. It's a bit oily.
Yeah.
But then there was a lot of oil in it when I dumped it out, so it's not the pepper is a nice compliment.
That's and it's pretty because it's orange and red, so it balances out the green.
Mhm. I think it's good. Maybe maybe if people want the recipe, we can tell them where to find it.
Yes.
Yep. I was waiting to have you guys cook your food today before sending out yesterday's recipe too. So I'll send both out to everybody today. Does anybody have? Thank you so much, Kim and Melissa. Does anybody have any questions about nutrition? Okay, I'm gonna unmute Amber. Hi, Amber.
Hi, Amanda.
How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm sorry
Good.
for the meeting. Today's my dog's birthday, so
It's your birthday?
no, my dog.
Oh, happy birthday to your dog.
I graduated last week. So
Congratulations.
thank you, Amanda. Hey, so I had a question. So were we supposed to be cooking with Melissa, or?
No, you didn't have to be cooking. This was just so we could show you how to do it. Kim just demonstrated it for us.
You know what? I love to cook spaghetti tacos. So
Spaghetti tacos. Wow, that sounds good.
yeah, it's a combination of spaghetti and tacos. So
Oh,
I got for my Carly.
okay, that sounds good. Maybe you can teach us how to do that sometime.
Good job, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, and happy birthday to your dog.
Oh, thank you. He's outside. He's 3. He's 3 years old today.
Happy 3rd birthday to your dog. All right, thanks,
Thank you.
Amber.
Thank you, Amanda. See you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Okay, anybody else have a question or something about nutrition they want to ask? No? Oh, Kyle. All right. Maurice, you'll be next. Kyle, you have to unmute. Okay. Hi, Kyle.
Hi,
How are you?
good.
What's your question?
I have a question about nutrition.
Sure.
With nutrition, how many plates of food are we allowed to cook?
How many plates of food are you allowed to maybe
Yeah.
eat? I think is what you mean.
To eat?
So everybody's different, but you know, some people need more, some people need less. But if you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know, you should be good. Maybe a little snack in between, and make your plate as we talked about. You know, with lots of fruits and vegetables, a little bit of protein, and a little bit of, you know, starchy carbs. So start with 3 and see how you feel, and make sure, you know, you're drinking enough water to make sure you're not just thirsty. Does that help?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, Kyle. All right. My
I
friend
think
Marie.
Riley has a question.
Yeah, I got a question for Kim.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been have you started cooking?
6 months.
Okay, cool.
Not very long.
Hey, yeah.
No, not very. Not before. Well, before I did a lot of heating things up. So like I would get stuff that was already made and then I would microwave it. But I'm trying to be healthier, and so now I'm cooking more from scratch.
Good.
So I make a lot of stir fries because that's easy to make, and I can just cook it in a pan and I don't know how to do anything. So that's what I've mostly been doing, and so now Mel is teaching me and us how to do other things besides stir fry, because stir fry gets a little old when you have it every day.
Yeah, cool. Cool because I've been learning how to do the exact same thing during cooking class every other Tuesday.
Excellent. It sounds like you're making some great stuff. I'd like to learn how to do that. Maybe I can join your cooking class.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, Maurice.
You're welcome.
Okay. Tyler, who has a question? Oh, Ellen.
We talked about. All right, Riley, I'm going to meet you. Is questions about food, all right? Questions about the cooking. Oh, you got to mute yourself. There you go. What's up, man?
I have a question, Tyler. My question is, how many food plates are you allowed at each meal?
How many food plates are you allowed at each meal?
Yeah.
So I think, what you want to do is, like we said, everybody's different. And so go with the one plate, start with one, make it, appropriately sized. This is really small. And make sure you get a lot of fruits and vegetables, some protein, and some starchy carbs. 3 meals a day. And if you need, you should have snacks, in between that should be also balanced with protein, fats, and carbs. And lots of water. Sometimes we think we're hungry when we're actually really thirsty. So get those 5 bottles a day. Do you think that would help? And is that good?
I think so.
Awesome. Cool.
Can I-
Good question, Riley. Thank
Can I
you.
ask a question to Kim real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, my question for you is what kind of meals do you like to make before you go to work?
Well, I tend to work in the afternoons, and so I have lunch right before I go to work, and I'll either have some leftovers or I make myself a turkey sandwich. Sometimes I'll have a smoothie. So one of those 3. I'll heat up something that I cooked last night for supper, or I'll make a turkey sandwich, or I'll make a smoothie.
Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Riley.
Thanks, Riley.
Okay, I think Ellen has her hand up. And then Kevin, you'll be after, okay?
Question for Melissa. How long have you been cooking before?
Great question. So I have been cooking for about cooking my own food for about 25 years.
Wow. And I have another question to ask you. What's your favorite recipe?
Dr. Kim?
Yeah,
Was
for
she
you.
talking to you, Mel?
Oh, me? Sorry, I misheard. My favorite recipe. That's hard. I really like eating. But I would have to say that it would be, oh God, I just, so hard to choose because every day is so different. I would say a great big salad with a nice little piece of steak. I like steak. I have it about once a week. And to be honest, I'm just going to tell you, garlic bread. I love garlic bread. And my husband makes the best garlic bread. So big salad, a little steak, and a piece of garlic bread would be my favorite. We all
I like cookies. So I have well, since I've gone gluten-free, my cookie recipe doesn't work anymore, but chocolate chip cookies. Oh my gosh, chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the other thing, and this is why Kim and I cook, is because if we know we're eating really good food most of the time, it's okay. You know, we can afford to have those cookies or that piece of garlic bread because we know that everything balances itself out, and life is too short not to have a lot of fun and eat what you like. So that's why Kim and I eat a lot of vegetables, cook our food, so we can have cookies and garlic bread and other fun things. Right, Kim?
Definitely.
Okay,
Brownies too. I made some brownies a couple nights ago, and I've been eating my homemade brownies. I never made, always before I made them out of a mix. This was the first time I made them from scratch. So it was.
Are they gluten-free?
Huh?
Are they gluten-free brownies?
Yeah, I used almond flour.
Perfect.
And coconut sugar. Not regular sugar, coconut sugar.
And they're delicious.
They are. They're really good.
Good job. And you know, it has almonds have more protein in it. You get a little protein with that brownie.
Oh, it's healthy.
Yeah. It's that health halo.
and it's cacao chocolate, dark cacao chocolate.
You still only can have one a day though.
I had 3. They were little. They were only this big, right? So
I'm not worried about you. You work out too.
okay, we have time for one more question. I'm gonna unmute Kevin Jones. And then we're gonna say goodbye to everybody, okay?
Okay.
Hi, Kevin. What's your question?
I say this, what is it? Maybe make the peanut butter cookie or pasta, or I want to make it the pasta tuna. It's good.
Oh, you like cooking pasta with tuna?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can do a recipe on that later. Good idea.
It is
Yeah,
a really good idea.
Can you give me the picture of this?
Yes, I will make sure everybody gets the recipe for this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks everyone.
All right. Thank
Kim,
you.
Amanda.
Thank you to Kim and Melissa. We will see you guys tomorrow. We're doing homemade face masks at 6 p.m. So I will send a reminder to you guys, but hopefully you learned something, and we will chat again soon.